Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, and Anthrax, the big four of thrash metal. Each band carved its own legacy. But according to David Ellefson, longtime Megadeth bassist, not all of them played the industry's game. In fact, he once revealed that while Metallica and Megadeth adjusted to survive in the music business, Slayer never did. This created tension, admiration, and a fascinating clash of philosophies. What did Ellefson really mean? And why does it matter to the history of metal? Let's dive deep into his words and explore what made these bands so different. In the 1980s, thrash metal exploded. Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, and Anthrax became leaders of the movement. They played louder, faster, and heavier than almost anyone else. Together, they became known as the Big Four. But even within this group, each band had a different approach to fame, money, and survival. Metallica embraced mainstream success. Megadeth fought to compete. Anthrax experimented with different styles. And Slayer stayed underground, refusing to bend. David Ellefson, being right in the middle of it all, noticed these differences. Years later, he explained why Slayer didn't play the industry's game and how that set them apart. Metallica were the first thrash band to break through worldwide. With Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets, they built a loyal fan base. But it was the Black Album in 1991 that changed everything. Songs like Enter Sandman brought thrash into the mainstream. To many hardcore fans, Metallica had sold out, but to the band, it was survival and growth. They adjusted their sound, made music videos, and embraced radio play. Ellefson noted that Metallica played the game. They worked with the industry, not against it, and it gave them power that no other thrash band could touch. Megadeth, led by Dave Mustaine, always carried a chip on their shoulder. Mustaine's firing from Metallica fueled his drive to compete. With Ellefson by his side, Megadeth pushed harder and harder. Albums like Peace Sells and Rust in Peace became classics. But behind the scenes, Mustaine wanted what Metallica had: massive recognition. This meant Megadeth also had to play the game. They experimented with more radio-friendly sounds, like on Countdown to Extinction and Euthanasia. Ellefson admitted that Megadeth followed the same path as Metallica at times, making compromises in order to stay relevant. Slayer was different. From the beginning, they were unapologetically dark and aggressive. Their lyrics about death, war, and evil made them outsiders. They didn't chase radio play. They didn't change their style for the charts. Rain in Blood was brutal, short, and uncompromising. Ellefson explained that Slayer simply didn't play the game. They weren't interested in softening their sound or winning industry approval. This gave them a legendary reputation, but it also limited their commercial success compared to Metallica and Megadeth. For Slayer, staying true to themselves mattered more than reaching the mainstream. Ellefson reflected on how playing the industry's game had both rewards and costs. Metallica became the biggest metal band in history. Megadeth earned platinum records and worldwide tours, but both bands faced criticism from hardcore fans who accused them of selling out. Slayer, on the other hand, kept their underground credibility intact, yet they never achieved the same level of financial power. Ellefson saw the contrast clearly. Slayer didn't play the game, he said, but Metallica and Megadeth did. And that choice defined their legacies in very different ways. Slayer's decision not to play the game made them heroes to die-hard metal fans. While Metallica faced backlash for changing their sound, Slayer's fans trusted them completely. Ellefson acknowledged that. He admitted Slayer's loyalty from fans was unmatched. Meanwhile, Metallica and Megadeth gained bigger stages and bigger paychecks, but at the cost of constant criticism. To Ellefson, it was a question every band had to face. Do you want loyalty at all costs, or do you want fame and power? Slayer chose loyalty. Metallica and Megadeth chose power. Behind Ellefson's words lies the reality of the music industry. Record labels, managers, and producers often pressured bands to adapt. Metallica listened. Megadeth resisted at times, but eventually followed. Slayer refused. Ellefson explained that it wasn't always about art. It was about survival. Thrash bands had to make tough choices in the 90s, when grunge and alternative music took over. Many bands collapsed. Metallica survived because they adapted. Megadeth survived by competing. Slayer survived by staying raw, though on a smaller scale. Each path came with its own risks. Even with different approaches, there was respect between the big four. Ellefson admitted that Megadeth looked up to Metallica's success, but also respected Slayer's purity. He said that when all four bands toured together, it was clear they all mattered in their own ways. Metallica had the mainstream, Slayer had the underground, Megadeth had the technical firepower, Anthrax had their own unique blend. Ellefson's comment wasn't meant as an insult. It was an observation that each band chose its own game, or chose not to play at all. Looking back, Ellefson realized that the differences made the Big Four so fascinating. If every band had followed Metallica's path, Thrash might have lost its edge. If every band had followed Slayer's path, Thrash might never have reached arenas. The tension between survival and purity gave Thrash its energy. Ellefson admired Slayer for their defiance, but he also accepted that Megadeth and Metallica wouldn't have survived without playing along. It was the balance between these worlds that kept Thrash alive. Today, all four bands are legends. Metallica headline stadiums. Megadeth continue to tour worldwide. Slayer retired, but their name is untouchable in metal history. Ellefson's words remind us that success in music is never just about talent. It's about choices. Some bands play the game, some don't, and those choices shape not only careers, but entire legacies. Slayer didn't play the game, Ellefson said, but Metallica and Megadeth did. And that simple truth explains why their paths were so different, yet equally unforgettable.